Kalispera, good morning, Galimera, whatever time you are watching or listening to. This is Mappa. I'm Stel, and I've got Thasso here with me again.
This is Mappa. All right.
It is
Yeah.
indeed. It is
Yeah.
although, shall we call it? This is circus.
Uh,
This
d-
is
d-
pantomime. This is
yeah. It's like those Mexican soap operas. Were you kidding, bro? Were you kidding, bro?
yes,
As
of
well?
course,
Yeah. So
of
in the
course.
summer when everybody else used to do siesta, always, whenever the siesta was on, you'd have these Mexican soap operas where they'd be
Yep,
like,
dubbed.
they'd be like, "Oh, my sister tried to kill me while I was sleeping, and then I woke up, and all this business." It's the exact same thing. Exact same thing. It's insane. But yeah, how
Yep.
are you doing?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. I'm just trying to recover from my insomnia, thanks
Mm,
to the well. To be honest, I said that wrong. The Doxa Salamina game from tonight is the cure for
yeah.
insomnia. If you're suffering from insomnia, just even watch the highlights. I didn't even watch the highlights. I watched the first 20 minutes of the game, and it bored me to death. And I'm very disappointed, to be honest, because last week we were talking about Olympiacos Carmiotis being boring. It was Agrida against who was it? That was another board draw, wasn't it? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, there was a
Um,
couple of games that were like that last week. This week, I think it's
yeah,
only the one, so I guess it's better.
just the one, just one. But the others made up for it. So
Oh no! I'll
yes,
tell you what it is. It's Agridas Olympiacos. That's this week.
yes. Oh my goodness. Oh
Oh
no.
man! Oh god! Oh, we apologize in advance for
Well,
the
for all we know, it
highlight.
might be a 3-all draw. It might be a 3-all draw for all we know. Okay, mate.
Oh dear. Yeah. Oh
All
man.
right. Well, let's go into our first game, and it's Buffalo beating Paralimi on Friday evening by 2-0. Goal scorer Zairo and Tankovic from the spot in the last minute. But a game shrouded in controversy, VAR controversy, my friend.
Yeah.
Go on.
No, it's. I mean, I'll vamp a bit until the situation comes up. But yeah, Barfos ended up winning the game. They needed that pick me up as well, especially considering that last kick of the uh, ball match goal that they conceded against Apollon. So they needed something to get them going, and the result here basically sorted them out. I think for that. Barfos was great. Gyro scored, all the rest of it. But this is the thing I want to talk about. We're probably going to spend about 45 minutes fucking talking about this, right? This decision is insane. This decision is absolutely insane. Look at it. Look at
Let,
it. There's only one line that they drew. There's only one line.
Mate, do you know what? When I saw it, the first thing I noticed was the guy in one of the centre backs who's close to Vucenovic in the
Yeah,
middle, right?
yeah,
Leaning back like Fat Joe. It reminded me of Michael Jackson. I did the meme of Michael Jackson doing the
yeah,
lean, but
yeah,
obviously the other way around.
yeah.
The commentator said the player's shoulder was offside. Now maybe it's just my eyesight, or maybe it's just like I don't know, a camera trick because Paralimi shirts are claret and blue, and the lines that they draw are red and blue. Can I make out a blue line? I don't even know. On the left hand side, I don't know.
So, right, the line's not straight.
We're
The
going by
line's
the
not
penalty box
straight.
now, yeah?
Yeah, look at the penalty box, right? And you
Yeah.
could kind of see towards this end, the red line comes further apart from the blue line as you get closer to the camera. That's not enough. That's not offside. I don't care. I don't care what. That's not offside. There's no chance.
No, no.
There's no chance that that's offside. And, it's not the first time that we're actually talking about Paralimni getting a decision against them like this. It's the second time, like with this specific thing as well, but it looks like they've only drawn the one line to call the offside decision. And, if you listen to the commentary as well, you can hear the commentators going, "Yep, yep." So they checked it, and it was in fact offside. Say something. That's you can disagree with the decision because it's right there. It's right there. It's right there in your face. Say something. But anyway, Baralimni, I'm pretty sure Sacha and Baralimni and that the whole town in general are probably really, really, really pissed off with how things are going for them at the moment with respect to referees. It's absolute, like, the fact that Baralimni aren't making a big deal about it as a club. Like they've gone a couple of times, but that's it. Whereas you've got your bigger clubs and some of the other clubs that are kind of decisions which are less marginal than this, but a lot less than this, and then throwing their hands up in the air, trying to start fires and everything. Look at it. Look at it. Look at it. I mean, what has Anorthosis Neon Baralim done to the Refs Association for them to get caught in decisions like this?
Do you know what baffles me the most about this decision? Obviously people that are listening on the download that can't see what we're seeing.
Yeah.
They've drawn the red line to say, right, that's where the offside is, or where the line of the buffer defenders are, etc., etc. And they've done the red dots from the Baralimni forward's shoulder going down to the red line, which you're thinking that's 90 degrees. That's where the offside took place.
Mm-hmm.
But under normal circumstances, I don't know, I haven't noticed it in Cyprus, to be fair, because I'm too used to the Premier League, I guess, but they always draw the dots or the perforated line on the defender as well. Now, looking at this image, Buffos defender, further up the screen, it's almost like his back is actually playing the Baralimni player on by at least a yard, at least, because of the way that he's standing. Now, I don't see any red dots to show where the offside came from the defender's perspective. Do you know what I mean?
So it's because you're looking at the wrong defender.
Am I? Well, are you talking about the nearest one to?
Yeah, he's got blue dots hanging out of his arse.
Oh, there it is.
Even though the other defender is further, I don't know, the other defender's probably further back.
Yeah, this is what I mean. Oh my goodness! Wow! 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 It gets worse.
This is why there's a game to talk about here, but there isn't. This is the talking point. This is the talking point.
Unbelievable. Now, you could, I guess the people in the VAR truck could argue that, well, we haven't got the right camera angles. We haven't got it could be the frames. I don't know how many frames per second it is. I don't know. But you can't blame the technology when it comes to this. As you quite rightly said, the lines,
well,
they're all wrong.
So I mean, you could blame the technology and whatever else, and you don't have the right camera angles and whatnot. But if that's the case, then the on-field decision stands, which it was a goal, right? The referee gave it as a goal, and then they called it back to say it was offside. Right?
It's mate, honestly. Well, the guys in the VAR truck were Antonio Menelaos, I can't even say his name, Menelaos, and Evagoras. Well, they were the two guys in the VAR truck. But the delegate was Zavros Andreas.
Right. I don't know who these people are, but if Evagoras, if that name's not from Bafo, then no one is.
Oh my God. I couldn't even pronounce the other guy's name when I'm Cypriot myself. Jesus.
Yeah, yeah, Menelau, something like that. But yeah. If agora se agora, they just need to put like Guinea in there somewhere as well, and like the most baffled name you can have. That. So that's probably what's
But
done
don't
it.
search you on Facebook because there's about probably 500 of them.
Oh dear, man. Oh, it's yeah.
Honestly. Anyway, let's
Yeah.
move on because this game, apart from that, in all fairness, prior to the goal that Zyro scored, which was a lovely back heel, it was an end-to-end game, was it? It was like a game of basketball. Both teams had their opportunities, and as we see, Bayern had a good goal disallowed.
Yeah.
But just before half-time, Zyro strikes again for, was it his 14th league goal of the season?
Something like that, yeah, with the cheeky little bugger.
Naughty.
Oh, yeah. Naughty. Yeah, exactly. The back heel. I mean, the form he's in at the moment, the confidence breeds, confidence. And he's got no problem pulling off stuff like that because he knows it's going in. Like every time he touches the ball, something happens. It's
can you fault the goalkeeper a bit here? Because
I
get what they say with the goalkeepers, you should really palm it away from danger, but it didn't seem like a rocket from Ghanaian, was it?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't powerful. It wasn't powerful. I mean, the only thing I can really kind of explain it is obviously, Gibro over the last 3, 4, 5 days has been a lot of rain, especially in the Baralimni area.
So, yes, we saw.
So and if the ball bounces, it's going to kick up a lot of water. It's going to slow down. It's going to bounce around a bit weird. So maybe there was something like that involved. But again, I'm making excuses for the guy. Yep. And here's Semedo again. See, Semedo set a guy up. Semedo does all the lovely work. He does all the dribbles, all the nice passes and everything. Just don't have him shoot.
Yep. And then a handball, which no one even appealed for.
Yeah.
Handball for you, mate?
I mean, yeah, it is, because if you take if he if he was not doing it on purpose, then you'd see his hand move down, but his hand doesn't move down. He kind of keeps his hand up as he's going down, so he knows the ball's going towards him, and he just keeps his hand there anyway. So do you see it? There you go. And then he's leaning in to be like, "Oh, I headed it." Yeah. And then
now there's the penalty, and then the penalty scored. Tankovic celebrates, and someone's giving him grief. Like, what? You angry with the guy because he scored? Like, what?
I think it's got to do with the step up penalty stuff.
Really?
Maybe, I don't know. Like, maybe he needed to be caught up for stopping in his run up or something. I don't know. It could be anything.
That's a bit petty, isn't it?
Yeah, but we're in Gibro, so.
But when I first saw it, I thought, what is he getting angry with the guy for? Oh, he scored a penalty. You just pissed off with him because he scored a penalty? What is this?
It could be anything. He could have said something about his mum before the penalty. I don't know, man.
Yeah, possibly. Well, the guy that gave away the penalty was Roshan, someone who we spoke about a few weeks ago about his lack of goals, and it's looking a bit peak for him now, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, Roshan's never been a goal scorer, but I mean, you wouldn't expect him in that box anyway to be doing anything. He plays up front, doesn't he? So what's he doing? What's he doing that far back, even with a corner?
Well, I'd expect it because he's 6 foot or so, right? So I'd expect him to be marking a tall player, but I wouldn't expect him to be near post. Usually, the near post players are the shorter ones.
Yeah, I'd be on the near post because I'm 5'6". So
something.
So I'd be on the near post. The ball will still go over me if I try and jump for it, but but yeah. I don't know. Rusha, I don't. Rusha's never impressed me as a player. He seems to move across different teams. I mean, he seems to do something. He seems to impress somehow. Otherwise, he wouldn't still be getting teams in the top league. But personally, he's not tickled my fancy at any point.
Well, look, I think he's got a very good agent that can get him moves. You know, but yeah, look, I don't have anything against the guy, but
Yeah,
he clearly has an issue with scoring goals, and you know, it's like what they say: when a striker's not scoring goals, it's what they do off the ball. And
exactly.
you know, he hasn't really been playing many games, if I'm not mistaken, because it was Vucenovic up front with was it Lamy and Diawara, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So he's playing a bit part role, and so let's see. Maybe second division is his level now. I don't know. I don't want to, denigrate the guy, but just seems that way, doesn't it? So anyway,
Yep. Yeah.
Right. Next game, Apoel beats Karmiotis 2-1 at the Sirio. Goals scored by Doni, a powerful header. Ilya came off the bench to grab a second, and Duris scored consolation for Karmiotis with 5 minutes ago. In fact, Duris had the ball in the back of the net early, but that was disallowed for offside. But another victory for Apoel, mate. But it wasn't easy, was it? It looked a little bit sticky at times for him.
Yeah. I mean, the first goal they scored ended up being in the second half, so they went through the whole first half, and it wasn't just it wasn't just Apoel knocking on the door the whole time either. They had Gabmiotis gave him a couple of scares as well. So I thought Belek was a little bit shaky as well with some of the saves. I think we obviously didn't have that much to do. Karmiotis like to take players from Karmiotis. I like to take these pot shots that barely ever kind of threaten the goal, but when they did, I don't know, it was a concentration issue or what, but there's a couple of times where you think he'd be holding on to the ball or palming it away. And for instance, for the offside goal, he just basically, when the shot came in, he handed it to Juris basically, and it happens again the second time, I think in the second half as well, where he palms it off, and Ferrari gets there in front of the striker in time just to save his blushes. But yeah, but kind of they had plenty. Boyle had plenty of chances in the first half. There's a few chances as well that I've seen where there's just one too many passes coming in, like where you could probably take the shot a bit earlier. I think there's one that comes up. Well, yeah, there's this one here with Vilidaya. He could have taken the shot himself, but he decided instead to pass it back to set up the other player to try and score instead. And that's kind of how you can tell, with a striker that their confidence is completely shot, is where they should be taking the shot, and then instead they've decided to try and set up somebody else. And again, we keep going on about Villidaya's work rate. It's definitely there, but he needs to get goals.
Yeah. And this is how you score a header, isn't it? Look at that.
There you go. Bam. Like that.
I tweeted the next day, like, I don't know what was better, Ferrari's cross or Donny's header. It's a thing of beauty.
Yeah. He put it on a plate for him, didn't he?
That is what you want from a fullback crossing the ball. And look at the whip on that as well. The height, the trajectory, the power. And I'll tell you what, he didn't need to really put too much weight on the header because the cross did it for him, Yeah,
it had all the power in it, exactly. Yeah, I mean, the thing that made me laugh is the commentator when the header went in goes Vidaya. Oh no, See, there you go. So that was the save I was talking about there, where it looks like he tried to catch it and it bounced off him.
Yeah,
yeah, there was
yeah.
a couple of times that happened.
Do you think Milojevic would be a little bit disappointed with how easy Gabriel got in behind in the channels?
I think, well, to a point, but I think he was trying to get players pushed forward to try and get that to try and get the goals, because they struggled in the first half to get anything away. So he was trying to get them pushed further up. So obviously, you got your Koulibaly's and Dumbia, I think, has got speed.
Yeah.
This is a really good goal as well. Actually,
Yeah, the second one was brilliant. The through pass was brilliant. His first touch was even
fantastic.
better. And it's like you said with the previous game, with it being so wet, the surface, one touch could have taken it away from him. But that's a great finish as well. Think over the keeper. Maybe the goal he could have come out a bit quicker before or sooner, should I say? But take nothing away from him. The first touch set himself up, and that's a great finish. And Elias got that in his locker, man. He's got it in his locker.
Yeah, I mean, it was another one who was a bit bereft of the confidence because the performances weren't there. So hopefully, it gets him to kick on. On the other side, I think Mihajlovic is going to be going absolute ape shit at his defense for this. Like, how many mistakes, and then Belic runs in too late, away from where the ball's going, and just and then you got Dashvili and Belic just watching the ball kind of trickle in almost.
It's a strange finish because it looks like Duri's kind of like shot onto his shin and it went in. It's like he went to take a shot, it hit his toe, hit his shin and went in.
Yeah, the whole move is a bit of a freak occurrence. But you'd think he would have lost he would have blew his top off from the steam coming off him because of the defensive errors there.
Do you know what happened between him and Galtza? Because I know they both picked up a yellow card in the 90th minute. So I'm not sure whether something had happened between them. I know Milojevic got a yellow card. I know he picked up a yellow card, and Galtza did at the same time. But so I don't know whether something had happened between them or it was just two separate incidents. I don't know.
I don't know. I'm not sure, but he would have. He would not have been happy with what went on there. And you could argue, it's a foul. There's a foul to the build-up of that goal. Maybe he was complaining about that a bit too much. There's a few things there, but yeah. Either way, Abuel is still getting points, and that's the important thing for them. They need to keep picking up points. I've been reviewing teams' finances for an article. The article's not. There's a lot of information. That article's not anywhere near done yet, but I've got Abuel's finances for end of 2021, and that's anything to go by. They need a European spot. They need that Champions League qualification or the Europa League qualification, because if they don't get that, then there's going to be massive questions. There's going to be a clear out. There's going to be all kinds of things. So there's a lot of pressure around what's happening at Abuel at the moment, because they desperately need to get into that top 2-3. If they don't, then there's going to be a lot of trouble. So Milojevic's job, I think, at the moment is to try and remove some of that pressure off his players. But kind of, you could tell in this game that the pressure's starting to build up for him. Basically, because there's two other teams that are still keeping up with them regardless of their results.
Yeah. Well, look, we know that Pedridi is an all or nothing kind of guy, and when it comes to bringing in players, he's very aggressive in doing so. He brings in the players that, okay, you could probably argue that some of the signings that have been made in recent years, like Nuhu and Saha and Ghana, they probably weren't the signings that the head coaches wanted. This summer gone, a lot of the players that came in, again, I'm not sure if Avgusti wanted them. We heard last season, Bursa complaining about some of the players that came in, yada, yada, yada. But Milovic has come in and he's dealt with the hands. Well, he's played with the hand that he's been dealt with, so to speak. And they brought in Ben, from Ben. Uncle Ben. Uncle Ben. Like the Rice. Yeah, they brought him in from, I like to call them Kurtina FC because I don't know how to pronounce the Red Star Belgrade version of Serbia.
Yeah.
So he's a baller. He's a very, very good player. And he's probably the type of player that they want, especially in wide areas or even through the middle. Now, I don't think he's going to be this number 9, the centre forward that they want really Dyer to be like scoring goals left, right, and centre. But what he offers, especially in wide areas, left foot, right foot, they got a player there, mate. They got a player.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know much about the guy, but so I'm gonna have to I'm gonna have to cede to your knowledge on this. But yeah,
well, the thing is, he's not like, he hasn't got this blistering pace that say Ndongala does. But the thing is, he uses both feet very, very well, and he's a very intelligent player when it comes to his distribution and when it comes to his knowledge or awareness inside the box. He always seems to be this right player at the right time kind of player. Then again, he's 33. So I don't know if, Red Star Belgrade thought, well, we don't really want to renew his contract because he's on the wrong side of 30. But look, players are still doing it in Cyprus at 36, 37. So I don't think the age thing is really a bigger deal, especially players who have kept themselves in prime condition, which he looks like he has done.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. It's just I don't think it was the major signing that they needed, rather than it's probably one that they wanted, because the signing that they need is somebody to stick the ball in the net, because really Dyer's not doing it, and Ilya did it this weekend, but he hasn't been doing it. Their goals are coming from other areas, so that they don't really they haven't really missed that as much, but they need somebody who's able to put that ball in the net. Otherwise, goals dry out from other places.
Yeah. Well, this is a player that the head coach knows very well, and I'm guessing he's probably coming to replace the German fellow, sorry. The winger Blum, that's it. They released him a few days ago.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that he's his like-for-like replacement. So let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah. On to the next. I'm not going to choose the game of the weekend yet. I'm going to go with Apollon's 3-0 victory over Anorthosis, goals from Bitta, Hendi, and Zrandi. My goodness, that's a mouthful. 3-0 win for Apollon. Anorthosis did look okay in this game up until they went a goal behind. I think they hit the bar from a punch and free kick. But again, I'm waiting to see a clip of their coach, their caretaker head coach with the here we go again. Look. Anyway,
no man. Again, so time to get the multicolored wigs out, because the circus took a break for a week, but it looks like we're right back in it. It's right. We talked about sound effects last week. Circus music. So, but anyway, if we go back to the game itself, so Apollon with the first goal. So Bitta's worked very, very, it's a really good finish, a proper striker's finish. Now, after during the celebration, they went towards this plaque of this poster of Hambi. So I don't know if we want to do an explanation of who he was.
Yeah, you might as well, because some people might not know.
Who he was. So he was basically like the team's I don't want to say manager, but he basically looked after it was like welfare stuff.
Player
That was
liaison
right.
officer.
Yeah, pretty much. And he did that job for decades. Like decades. He was there for a long time. So a lot of players have a lot of respect for Hambi.
But he
Actually,
was well liked by other club players as well. You know, I
yeah,
saw Anorthosis and
exactly.
Salamina. I think Omonia did met up well. I'm not sure exactly.
All the teams did. All of them
Yeah.
put something out to. Normally rivalries get in the way and you don't really say much. But like every team put something out to pay their respects to this guy. And he was a very important person for Cypriot football, obviously, because of his role. And yeah, he's going to be sorely missed because not only did he have, not only was his job role what it was, but he had so much experience to hand down to a lot of people, and he's going to be very sorely missed, I think, all over Cyprus, not just for Apollon.
Yep. Well, they put in a performance that he'd be proud of. I'll tell you that because they were absolutely. Blimey, I can't even think of the word to describe it. It was insane. They were like the Tasmanian devil, absolutely all over the place. But very aggressive in the attack. They created a lot of chances, which I'm sure their head coach will be very, very happy about. So, yeah, it's a big win for them and a well-deserved one as well.
Yeah, definitely. The for on Apollon's side, they really needed a confidence boost. I mean, they already got like a pretty good confidence boost, obviously scoring that goal in the 95th, 96th minute against Baffo to get the equalizer. But they've dropped a few points, and they're trying to get into they're in the top 6, I think now. So they just need to keep working hard to stay in that top 6 because you've got teams nipping at their heels at the moment. And
do you know what? When you look at the league table now, and you know how that cancelled game against IL can really hurt them if you think about it in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah. No, completely agree. God, the defending here. Oh my God.
It's pretty shambolic.
Between the two of them sorry, so we're concentrating on Apollon. We'll move on to Anorthosis after. But
we could do post-mortem about Anorthosis all night.
Yeah. But so Apollon really need. That's a really good goal as well.
Zrandi is something special. He's something special. He's another one of those players that you just think maybe Cyprus is a little bit below your level, if that makes sense. And again, this isn't disrespecting the Cypriot League, but when he turns it on, he's incredible. I remember he scoring this banger against Omonia at the beginning of the season, and that finish there, where he's just done the central defender. I mean, Bitta's build-up play was brilliant, but he's sold that dummy. He's done the central defender. And just quick change of feet, top corner. You don't stop those.
No, it's great movement from everybody. Great finish, I think the only thing that's probably holding Zrandi back from a higher level, let's say, is probably he seems to be a bit injury prone. Like he seems to like need like 2-3 weeks out because of an injury. Come back, plays 2 or 3 games, is injured again, goes off, comes back again. So maybe there's something there.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, I don't recall him having many injuries in Croatia where he was before. But look, these things happen. And the thing is, when you change coaches, if they bring in their own, assistant. I mean, some clubs completely change the backroom stuff, whereas others only have 1 or 2 changes. They don't want to change the whole structure. But when you have a new head coach, the training methods might be completely different. So they started off with Zorniger, who was very militant in his training. Then you had Gadala with a different style. Now you've got, I forget his name now.
Magrides,
yeah. So he's got his own style. So Perhaps it was the training, perhaps it's the intensity, perhaps he was carrying an injury. I don't know. But, as you quite rightly said, he has been on and off this season. But when he's in top form, he's arguably one of the best central midfielders in the league.
Yeah, no, I agree with you on that. But it seems to be like a lot of Apollon's players are like that, though. Like, for instance, VAR basically hasn't been involved at all in the first half of the season, and now is starting to get involved. You've got players like Dabo and Hendin Digini not really pulling their weight in some games. You've got players like Casas. No, not Casas. What's his name? The guy who missed the penalty in the cup match.
Saha. No.
No. KH Kamas.
Hamas that scored the equaliser last week.
Yeah. So sometimes he goes missing.
Yeah.
But when they're there and they're actually, performing, it's with anybody really, but with these guys, when they turn it on, It's like it's free flowing, like that third goal, for instance. The rain's lashing it down. Like, it's very hard to control the ball in that kind of situation.
Yeah.
And you've got Bitas doing feints and setting up, and then you've got Jradi kind of feinting it past the defender and then slamming it into the back of the net. So it's there's definitely a lot of class, a lot of skill, a lot of power in there, but for some reason, some games they just don't show up.
I also think it is with, and perhaps it's a psychological element, the passing of their welfare officer. The team talk might have been, do it for him.
Yeah.
We haven't had a great start to the season. We're picking up results. Do it for him. Make him proud. He'd be looking down on you guys now, and he'll say, "Come on, boys, do this for him." And I'll tell you what, they look possessed. Things like this. I mean, you got to understand the psychology. I mean, people watching now, they're probably thinking I'm talking rubbish, but you got to understand the psychology of football sometimes. And while the death has obviously hurt them, it's probably given that motivation as well. So, let's do it for him. For all the things that he's done for us. He loves this club. He's blue and white through and through. All right, we've had a difficult start to the season. We've had problems with fans arguing this and that. He wouldn't have wanted that. He would have wanted you guys to go on that pitch and perform. And boy, did they perform. Okay, Anorthosis had a few chances, don't get me wrong. And I'm sure we're going to discuss them in just a moment. But as I said, Apollon, they looked completely possessed, man. It was like nothing's going to stop us from winning this game. We're going to play well and we're going to batter you as well. And they did.
Yeah. No, definitely. I mean, you've said everything that I agree with it completely. There's a psychological factor involved, and there might be a psychological factor involved on the Anorthosis end as well. Like the club Anorthosis put out a statement, to. A statement of respect and rest in peace, and the rest of it. And there's a lot of players involved with one club. They talk with players of other clubs and the rest of it. So there would have been a lot of talk about Hambi and the kind of effect he's had on players that have been in and out of Apollon. So maybe the Anorthosis players were affected by it as well.
Quite possibly, mate. But Vesko Mihailovic has got one hell of a job on his hands right now. And, as we said last week, some of the fans, in fact, a lot of the fans want him to take the job until the end of the season. But there has been a change upstairs, hasn't there?
Yeah, I think it only happened. It happened tonight, didn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. In fact, let me see if I can get the tweet up from our friend Anorthosis Talker. I don't think it's actually Stalker. I think it's Talker. Yeah. I don't want to disrespect our friend here. So let me just find the tweet. Just bear with me one moment. Oh, blimey. Share screen. There we go, Stel. Come on. Wakey, Stel. Let's go. Here we go. Finally, a piece of good news. Succession uncertainty at PLC board over. Local businessman Andreas Santis, a former member of various boards of the club, takes over from Boulaides until the end of the season and is tasked to steer the ship to safer waters. Of course, Boulaides is still the money man and has apparently assured Santis he'll be covering the budget till May. Hopefully, he won't be meddling as much as he used to. Now, this is an interesting one, mate. First of all, until the end of the season. Now, why would this presidential change, albeit temporary, make any difference, do you think?
I think it's just something on the face of it, just to keep their fans happy. Like it says in that second tweet, he's still going to be the one providing the money to keep the whole ship floating. So, I would expect that he'd probably be wanting to keep his fingers in that pie, regardless of the person in charge. Now, the fact that this Sandis guy is on the board of, it's mentioned that he's been on different boards across the club, so he's already dealt.
He was actually the deputy president of the FA as well at one point.
Oh, right, okay, but
whatever.
Yeah, no. When did Anorthosis win the league?
No, it was 2000 and crikey, 2009.
If you want, check if the two.
Yeah.
Check if the two dates match. But anyway, the fact that he's been sat on all these boards previously means that he's had to deal with Boulaides previously, and whether or not he's just like a person who just goes, yep, I agree, we should do exactly what you're saying, Mr. Boulaides, or whether it's somebody who knows the club inside out and knows the kind of decisions that need to be taken. Obviously, we're going to find out over the next 3 or 4 months. The fact that Boulaides has agreed for him to be in charge using his money to run the club makes me think that it's all just get a new name on the door. That way, people can stop complaining. Personally, I don't know what you think on that.
I think you've hit the nail right on the head. I think it's just a way to quieten down the fans for the time being. I'm not saying fans are fickle, by no means, especially Anorthosis fans, but I think it's a way to kind of distance Boulaides from the mess that he's responsible for. Now, whether or not it's a long-term plan or perhaps testing the water for a potential long-term plan, we don't know. We're none the wiser. But all we do know is that this club, they are like it's bad. It really is bad. I remember Upwell a couple of years ago when McCarthy was in charge. They were bad, but they weren't like this. This is a different level of terrible. And this Anorthosis group of players are actually better than what I believe Mick McCarthy had. So, look, you've got to give them the benefit of the doubt for now because they're slowly changing things. But, was it a performance at the weekend to say that, right, they're going to be, fighting back? I didn't see much from them. Okay, you could say, given the circumstances, you're kind of expecting Apollon to be on the front foot. And the performance the other week against, who was it that they drew against at home last week? The name's gone out of my head now. They played 5 at the back. Wasn't Aris, was it? I can't remember.
No, it was Ajax. They played Ajax.
It's Ajax.
Yeah.
Yeah, when Loria saved, that's right. When Loria saved the penalty. Sorry, apologies. I can't even remember these things then. So yeah, we were talking about them being a little bit stable, a little bit more stable defensively, but yeah, they're going to need a lot more. Now, they've registered the signing of the Spanish forward they brought in. Finally registered it.
Mm-hmm.
But they're going to need a lot more than a 22-year-old, 23-year-old striker that's played for 4 or 5 different Spanish clubs and hasn't really done anything, in all fairness. But it looks very bad for them at the moment.
I mean, any player that's going to keep Waris out of the team is worth his weight in gold.
You're going to get some email from his people soon.
Right, listen, right? This is what's going to get me the email, right? Is this analogy, right? If you gave him a gun and told him to shoot in the air, he'd shoot his own foot off.
That's just mean.
It's just like because there's in the highlights, right? Just before Punchin hits the bar with the free kick. We'll move on to Jason Punchin in a second, but just before that, he's like 1-on-1 with the keeper, and then he just passes it to him. There's a reason why I'm digging into him. Listen, when he scores, I'm gonna be so happy for him. We could talk about it for 45 minutes. Be like, oh my God, he's the greatest player in the world. But until then,
oh mate,
he was brought in as a striker to score goals. So
yeah, they took him off at half time, I think.
Yeah. No, was it at half time? I think it was a bit.
Was it 46 minute?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
They brought in Lingard, I think.
Yeah.
No, Lingard. No, they brought him on. They brought him on. Lingard came off.
I mean, that's a problem if you're having to bring him on to change a game.
I'm not saying anything.
No. It's fine. I'm digging. This is me digging my hole for it. I'll watch him score a hat trick next game now. But yeah.
Oh mate, if he does,
if he does, right? Well, a whole humble pie, and I'll just sit there and eat it and just crying tears. But yeah. But if we move on to the other side, like Jason, if we go to kind of what Waris is doing to what Jason Punchin's doing, he's fighting for his life there, isn't he? Like the passing he's pulling off. A couple of the highlights during that game, like Anorthosis has got the ball in the middle of the pitch and he's just pinging it to the wings and it's just landing right at the feet of the player. The free kick, fantastic free kick. It's just unlucky that it cannoned off the bar. He's just really good, isn't he?
They have to build the team around him. I don't know how long his contract is. I don't know whether it's for a year or 2 years, but they need to build their team around him because he's clearly the most experienced player. He's clearly their best player. Now, I don't know what kind of conversations he was having with the previous head coach. I don't know what he was having conversations with the previous coach before him. I don't know. But it seems that under this caretaker coach, he's trusted more. He's getting more time. I think he went off after an hour or so. That could be because they were chasing the game even more. They wanted more legs. I don't know. Excuse me. But as I said, they need to build their team around him because when you got someone with that experience in your squad, what he can pass down to the younger players, you can't buy that. You really can't. And if they're planning for the future, which I'm hoping for their sake, they need him in and around the squad. I know he's doing his coaching badges, so perhaps he might end up on the coaching staff there. Again, I'm just speculating here. I'm guessing. That being said, the way that club is run, I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. You don't know. I mean, we're talking about this now. You probably put the podcast live, in the morning, and then an hour later, it's going to be.
It's going to be
Yeah, there's going to be. No, we've had fire, we've had water, so yeah, there'll be a tornado in the stadium.
Earth, wind, and fire.
So,
It's not even September. Okay, blimey.
Jesus.
Righty ho. Let's go on to the game of the weekend, which undoubtedly was AEK 4, Aris 3. And Aris were 2 goals ahead. 2 goals ahead. A strike from Strutsky, which sublime, absolutely sublime. Gomes made it 2. But then AEK fought back, goals from Altman, Lopez, and a second from Altman. We thought, okay, fair enough. That might be it because AEK don't concede many goals. But Gomes said, nope, I'm going to score again, which made it 3-3. And in the 94th minute, my pick for play of the season so far, Faraj, broke through, making it 4-3, celebrated with the Ronaldo Sue as well. What a bloody game. I was actually at an event that day and I had the live score app, and it was giving me alerts every now and again. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I'm looking at the score. What's happening? 2-0, 2-1, 2-2, 3-2.
Yeah.
It was bonkers, mate.
It was absolutely insane. I mean, just because I watched the first half. I watched the first half. I can't remember why I didn't watch the second half, but I watched the first half, and just thinking about it, I was just calm down, guys.
Hyperventilating. You got the plastic bag and everything, or the paper bag.
It was like this was a basketball match. It was like, all right, yeah, okay, now our turn. It's beautiful goal from Strutsky's the top bin. On Gomes end, a lot of work rate, a lot of pressing from him to capitalize on kind of AEK defending a bit lax. So yeah, there you go. And then just
that's a great finish.
Stroking it into the side.
You were to say put it across the goalkeeper. He absolutely levered it, mate.
Yeah. I'm just surprised that the highlights of this game aren't like 25 minutes long. It was like there needed to be a goal just to have a break in the game.
Yeah,
because it was insane. But yeah, I think regardless of Gomes scoring this goal, I think Piric would be a bit disappointed that he wasn't able to get a hand to it. I mean, you can see he gets really close to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a really, really good finish. It's a really good finish.
Well, when you strike it with that much power,
yeah,
it's a bit difficult. And the goalkeeper's like 6'4", 6'5", isn't he? So going down that quick would be a bit difficult. His positioning was good though, but the strike was just too good. And this save from
that was a really good save as well. But yeah, so here's the thing, right? You're 2-0 up. You try and close the game out a little bit. Maybe slow the game down, slow the intensity down. Don't be going full throttle for a bit. Calm it down a little bit. And no, they just thought no. Okay, we're going to keep going with it. But the thing is,
I would more.
Yeah, exactly. But because they wanted more, the 2 goals that they conceded, they would be like Shpilevsky on the side of the pitch would have been losing his goddamn mind. They're basically fell asleep for both the goals. Like, is that Musunda there? Who just left Outman by himself?
Musunda, no, it was the right back, wasn't it? Was it the right back? It might have been the right back, if I'm not mistaken.
Number 16.
Number 16.
Oh no,
number 6.
Number
Musunda
6
was the central defender.
Yeah. So he just left him by himself, ball watching.
Yeah.
And then the second goal is kind of the same again. It's a defensive error.
He done the fullback so easy there, though. The fullback made no attempt to win the ball. I mean, okay, you can say that, the winger shuffled his body and, he did him. But nah, man, that's unacceptable defending. That's inexcusable. I'm sorry. Watch the replay. Watch how he does him. He doesn't make any attempt to win the ball. None whatsoever.
Well, yeah, it's not just that. So it's not. So you've got that mistake there. And then you've got 3 Ajax players 3 in the box as well.
The deflection gave him a bit of luck.
Yeah, but still,
Yeah.
it's
Mate,
3
but
Ajax
look at
players, 3 in the
that.
box.
Look, he's putting them all on side.
Yeah.
He's putting them all. Look at. I'm gonna take this one back. Hang about. Look at this positioning where he is. Hang about.
Absolute. It's.
Mate, look at where he is compared to the rest of his teammates. He is standing on the close to the penalty spot. His nearest teammate is what, 5-7 yards ahead of him?
Yeah.
How can you be playing offside? How can you? I don't. What is this?
And then he doesn't
Honestly,
move forward either.
no,
He just stays back.
Take 2 steps and you're playing. He's offside.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's.
Mr. Evora, you have let your team down there. Del Miro.
Yeah, and then so kind of again, game carries on, same pace as it was before. Everybody like I don't like these players must have taken something beforehand, man. As like the way the way that just the high press as well. Like both teams were playing this really high press.
Yeah.
So you had
it's almost as if they were too afraid to make any challenges, though. You look every opportunity, they back off and they back off and they back off. I mean, this goal, is this the one? No, this is the offside decision.
Yeah,
this is the offside decision.
Oh yeah, we're in the second half now. Yeah, so there's a couple of times where the Ajax are trying to play the offside trap, and with
that wasn't a marginal one. That wasn't marginal.
That wasn't marginal. But the Ajax end up trying to they were trying to play this offside trap. I don't know why they were trying to play this offside trap as much as they did, because the types of players that Aris have got, you're going to get caught out one point or another.
Yeah.
But yeah.
The only explanation I can give is probably, them doing their analysis on the opponents. They maybe felt that the Aris wingers, they don't read the line. They don't read the line too well, and they're very quick to just make a run without timing it. So they probably thought, let's play a high line. We know that they don't have that, no disrespect, they don't have that intelligence in them to read the line. And but this goal, blimey, that's a FIFA goal. If ever I've seen a FIFA goal, this is it. He heads the ball onto the post. It comes back to him. He shoots. He hits the post. It falls back to him, and he scores. Like, I've heard of having a second bite of the cherry, but this is
yeah, he had the whole tree.
The cherry tree, man.
Yeah. I mean, Jesus Christ, man! Nobody is running to the ball. They're just watching him take the shots.
The more I see it, the more it just reminds me of FIFA Ultimate Team. You're playing against someone online and you're battering them all game, and this happens to you. And like, you get the control pad, you just throw it out the window. Like, fuck this shit, I ain't playing no more, man.
Oh man, just the Jesus Christ.
Even Altman can't believe it.
Yeah, I don't understand, man. I don't understand whoever's controlling them needs. I mean, there you go. That's another FIFA move there. You mistimed the button mash. But yeah, it's just again all over the place. Everything was all over the place.
Oof! What a save again! My goodness! Just this keeper.
Oh, and then this is a pass. Hold on, what's this pass?
Yeah.
Just Aris, I think they really miss Corcoran when he's not playing.
100%. 100%. He's on a different level.
Because them kind of passes, like if he's not scoring, them kind of passes is something else. Like
But look again. Look at the central defender's positioning here, right? It's absolutely shambolic. It's come on, man. Come on. You do you remember a few weeks ago when we were talking about Omonia when
Yeah.
Lesiak was playing? This is exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
Look at the other three defenders. They're in the line almost, but you can tell that they're pretty organized. What is the central defender doing there? Honestly, honestly,
It's baffling. It
honestly.
is. There's, I don't know, man. I bet both these teams just threw. They just threw the defending out the window, didn't they? I mean, great.
And that's Milicevic as well. Milicevic is a very experienced defender, man. You expect more from him. But anyway,
but
they won't care. They won't care at the end.
They won't care at the end of the day. But I think it might be down to kind of brief wise. They were normally Aris attack with like 3 or 4 players are running full pelt, and they all run full pelt at the same time.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, my only possible explanation. Yeah, you're right. You're right. I think the only possible explanation is that he must have been knackered. I mean, when you're playing a high line, I mean, it's the concentration as well that takes its toll. So maybe it was just a lapse in concentration, but that's a big lapse, But both teams had chances to win it. Even in injury time, we saw that chance there for Aris. And then this, I don't know what was going on with Van Alves and the defender. I don't think he even knew what was going on, in all fairness. He's tried to challenge the striker when he could have just smothered the ball. But here's the winner.
Yep. It's
bit fortuitous there, in all fairness. Bit fortuitous. He not made the goalkeeper. But hey, listen, he made his own luck by timing the run and gambling, really. And yes, that's a big win, a big win. Look at Oltra, hand on his head. I can't believe it. I'm going to cardiac arrest.
If you're a coach for either of these teams, you need to go have a bath afterwards.
Yeah,
100%. Get some scented candles, put some Enya on or something. Just
that's a new one on me, mate.
Yeah.
But again, the defensive line. What is the left back doing? What is he doing? Oh, for crying out loud! Honestly,
well, I mean,
shame on you.
You got to think though as well. A lot of these the defenders on both these teams, they're more used to helping out in the attacking. There it is. But a lot of the defenders, both the teams, are more interested in the attacking side of things.
Yeah.
So that's probably another reason. They're probably not doing much defensive training, I would expect. They will be after that match.
Well, yeah, exactly. Well, mate, the other week we'll talk about Aris and their dip in form. I mean, that's another game without a victory. I think it's
6 games.
6 games. Conceding 4 ain't gonna help either. And I'm not sure if they'll be getting into any European places. I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. Unless they turn things around somehow, because right now their confidence must be rock bottom. But they've got a pretty tricky game of the weekend as well.
Are they? Who are they playing?
Wow. I'll tell you who they're playing. Hang about. I saw it earlier and I thought, hang about. I think this is for me to edit it out, actually, to be honest. They're playing Apollon.
Oh.
Yeah, I was looking at the fixtures. Like, they've got a tricky game and I couldn't even tell you the team, but they're playing Apollon on Monday. So, yeah. Apollon in the derby in the stadium of Frisbees.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so what do you make of Aris then? Are they gonna turn things around, you reckon? Or
I don't know. There's obviously this brand of football that they really want to stick with, and obviously it's very entertaining. That's probably how you're going to get people into the ground if you don't have many fans. Is you're going to get people watch the games if you put an entertaining match on. But you've also got to start getting points. Then there's a lot of games that they've drawn in that 6-game run that they should have won. They should have won. Like if you want to be challenging for your European spots, you want to be beating the likes of. Hold on, let's have a look at some of these matches. So you want to be beating the likes of Garmiodissa. You want to be beating the likes of Olympiago, AEL. You want to be, they've got. So yeah, draws. They drew against AEL. They drew against Olympiago. They drew against APOEL. They drew against Garmiodissa. They drew against Agrida. And then they lost to AEK. So,
Yep.
2 or 3 of those teams, if you want to be going for, the top, if you want to be sitting at the top of the table, you should be getting more than just the 1 point against these teams.
Yep. 100%.
Yeah.
100%. They're struggling, mate. They're struggling big time. But yes. Anyway, let's move on to another game now. And Olympiacos, a team who struggling all season. A victory over the pain in the Agridas. They seem to be the Operation H, as I like to call them. A goal scored by debutants, the winner, Durmishai. You got to keep your Durmishai on this player.
No,
not funny. Not funny enough.
No. It's
too much of a dad joke these days.
It's fine. It's fine. You've got more experience with the dad jokes than me, so
yeah, absolutely. Yes. She's sick of them, to be honest. I get the rolling of the eyes now. She's going.
Oh no. Yeah, well, I've got a few years before that happened. So yeah, but yeah, they kind of this game. I'm surprised they found a lot of highlights, as many highlights as they did. I kind of sat through all of this. Kind of wish I just watched the last 10 minutes. To tell you the truth, I wasn't.
It wasn't as bad as the Garmiodissa game, was it?
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't as bad as the. It wasn't as bad as the other game, but it was. It could have been a lot better. Saying that, Akrapovic is going to be really disappointed, I think, especially considering the 2 games beforehand. They beat Anorthosis and they drew with Ari, so you would have expected them on form to kind of kick on. So kind of in the they did have quite a few chances, although there was a lot of half chances until about the 60th minute, and then the Durmishai came on and he changed the game. Like Olympiacos started attacking more. So these last 2 shots, for instance, have been Durmishai. And there you go, on his own, gets the goal, 1-0 from the corner. But yeah. Again, the marking.
Mate, you took the words right out of my mouth.
Yeah, it wasn't great.
Mate, honestly. Okay, I can understand that maybe because they don't recognize him because he's a debutant and they've never seen him play before. Maybe they thought it was a fan on the pitch. I don't know, because it looked like Olympiacos had more players and staff than fans at the stadium, in all fairness.
Oh, what you say that, but anyway, go on. Yeah.
But he's in acres of space. I think he had time to actually make a frappe and head it in.
Yeah, man. He had so much time for that. But I kind of talked about Durmishai actually when he signed for Olympiacos, saying mentioning that he's played for all these teams, and I think he's played for Greece once as well. So and wherever he's been, he's scored goals. So, and that's what Olympiacos were missing. And I think once they get him up to speed, because again, I think he'd only been registered for like 2 or 3 days before they chucked him on. So he came on like the 60th minute or something like that, and it completely changed the game. So if he gets more minutes under his belt, he could be a scary proposition for him.
Well, he's certainly the type of player they need, as in a
Yep.
goal scorer. I mean, Hendricks is good, but
There's a lot. There's a lot of strikers in Gipro that are second strikers, and they keep
Yeah.
playing them up front by themselves. So, for
Yeah.
instance, Pita for Apollon as well. He had, playing the second striker role. He seems to be a lot more effective. And I think it's the same thing with this Hendricks guy, and it's the same thing with quite a few other strikers in the league.
It's this weird obsession with trying to get the most out of players when they're only really suited to one position.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, couple of things on Agrita's side of things. Akos Onodi, Onodi clock. Yeah, still no He wasn't even on the bench.
Oh,
He weren't even on the bench this time. And someone who was on the bench though was Nikita Dubov. So,
yes.
So Papa Dubov will be very happy.
Yes, I was about to ask if he's related to the owner of Buffalo.
Yep.
Got an English passport as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep. Yeah, he's born in Hastings.
Oh, so let me get this straight. The owner of Buffalo has a son who plays for another club from Buffalo called Agrida, who are allegedly owned by the owner
Someone
of
else.
Buffalo.
Someone else. They're owned by someone else officially.
Someone else. Okay. Just wanted to make that clear. I
Yeah,
don't want to get anything.
They're owned by someone else.
Okay, fine. We'll go with that.
This is also an audio medium for people who can't tell. I'm doing the I thing.
You're not doing the speech marks with your fingers.
No.
Allegedly.
No. Yeah. Allegedly.
Apparently. Reportedly.
Officially.
Thank fuck we haven't got a massive audience because people will be on our case, man. Honestly, mind you, there might be someone at the club watching this and thinking, "Guys, shut up, shut the fuck up."
CEASE.
I'm actually worried they're going to get like a package of ricin coming through my door. Please, I don't mean it. It's for comedic purposes only. I swear to you, I don't have any bad mind towards you.
This is an entertainment. This is an entertainment podcast. We are not a news source.
Yes, this is correct. Fake news. Oh, quick, let's move on. Move on. Omonia, yes, my team. We beat IL. That's 4 wins in a row. We broke the IL barrier, the clean sheet bandits, as I like to call them.
Clean sheet bandits.
You can tell I was watching fucking Home Alone over Christmas.
Oh god!
Like torrential rain, a shit pitch, passing going over the top. But we got the victory. I'm thrilled with the performance overall. We limited them to half chances. One at the end from Teixeira, which he should have put in the back of the net. But the goal scorer, Bruno, stat padding, as I like to call it, scoring the goal before half time. Yeah, mate, I'll let you talk about this one because I did like an hour with Roy yesterday talking about
yeah. No, it's fine. So I wanted to start this off with yeah. So I mean, if we, I mean, we could talk about the goal since it's coming up on the highlights, but yeah, the Bruno, yeah, he has a knack of showing up. You called it stat padding, but I mean, IL is a team. You can't say that they're not a team. So
I'm just saying.
I mean, the run is really good from him as well, and kind of holding back. Muriel makes the mistake. That's you're not expecting him to. You wouldn't expect him to make that kind of mistake, especially with the form he's been in over the season. But yeah, Bruno was there. He was waiting for it just in case, and he got got his goal. Because that what is 4 wins in 4. I think you guys were talking about whether or not if it was too late for a title challenge last night. I think it's a bit too late, especially because of the form that Ajax and Apoel in. But that third place is, I think that would be a good solid aim. But for as good as they're being right now, kind of their form against the bigger teams is a little bit shaky. So once the split happens between the top 6 and the bottom 8, there's going to be, I think Baffle's form's going to fall back a little bit. So that's probably going to make third place a lot more gettable, especially if Omonia continue with the form that they've got.
Oh, 100%. 100%. The thing is, can Isle take anything out of this game? Because they had a few half chances, as I said, albeit, goalkeeper made some good saves. Uzahos made a save there, and Miralas had a shot early, and there's that chance, as I mentioned, with Teixeira right at the end. But Muriel going off injured, I don't know what happened with him, because when the substitute goalkeeper was about to come on at half time, Muriel was standing next to him, talking to him, having a conversation. So I'm guessing it wasn't a serious injury. Otherwise, why would he be there offering advice or encouragement to the number 2? I'm not sure.
If it was like a hand or a shoulder injury, maybe. I don't know.
Possibly.
I don't know.
I remember earlier on in the game, after he made a save, he was holding onto his hand, but I thought, he'll be all right, kind of thing. So maybe dislocated a finger or something. I'm not sure. But
so right here, what do you think here, in your biased opinion? Is this?
Well, I'll be honest with you. When I first saw it, I thought, here we go. He's going to give a penalty. But then the more I see it, Francis is. I wouldn't say
he's going for the ball.
He's going for the ball, but his trailing hand hits the winger, and it was the guy. He landed on the floor and he hit his head. It was when he hit his head on the ground. This one I've had more of a debate with people, even Gagulin myself. I'm not going to mention the conversation I had with Gagul about this, but I'm still adamant he tried to win the penalty as opposed to it actually being a penalty. People tell me that his foot was clipped by the goalkeeper, but I still don't see it, man. I think he tried to win it. He left his foot in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what they called it back for, is because you see he's running, and then the VAR when they took it to the monitor, they showed it kind of in slow motion afterwards. So you see his feet are running in line, and then as the goalkeeper gets close, his right foot kind of trails off to the side. For no reason. I mean, if he didn't do that, the goalkeeper would have clattered into him anyway, I think. Or maybe the goalkeeper would have pulled out, but because of the conditions of the pitch, if the goalkeeper had tried to pull out of doing that, it would have taken him out anyway, I think.
Yeah.
So there wasn't really a reason to do that, but I think I think he was asking for that penalty.
Yeah.
He's well within his rights to.
Of course.
Of course. Players do it all the time. I don't know if it's worth the yellow card for a dive. I don't.
It didn't surprise me.
That was a bit shaky.
It didn't surprise me, in all fairness, because that's what they tend to do out there. It's like, everybody's no. I mean, it's So it don't surprise me, but I'm just pleased we got a win against, as we said, a very compact, disciplined IL team, and the fact that Chibola, I think he only had one shot throughout the whole game, which went over the bar. We did a very good job marshalling him, and I'm very pleased with the performance. And the funny thing is, talking about the goal again, it came from a long ball. Francis lumped it forward, flick on. This is proper Wimbledon stuff, man. Where's Alan Cork? Where's John Fashanu? You know, but I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining because
Yeah.
when you've got a pitch like that, I mean, I don't know if you saw the game, Thassos, but the ball was getting stuck in the middle of the pitch. You're rolling the ball and it's getting stuck. So the only way you can play against this team is to put the ball into the channels where I don't know whether the grass was longer or whether it just wasn't as wet as the center of the pitch, and we had more joy in wide areas. We made the most of the situation. And a win is a win at the end of the day. You're talking about a team that beat Upwell the other week, so they're no pushovers.
No, they're not. But yeah, the pitch had a lot to do with it. I think if you have a look at players like Mirallas and Chibola, what they were trying to do, they were still trying to play the short ball, which worked against them. You know, they needed to. It basically needed a little like football tennis on a pitch like that. You know, it's guys, the stadiums in Gibron need some undersoil drainage, man. Just dig a couple of perforated pipes in the ground. Take the water somewhere else.
Well, where does it go? Because we've seen the scenes in Brodara and Paralimni where there's a guy
Yeah.
with a canoe going down the road.
Oh my gosh.
It's amazing.
But again, this is a whole Gibro thing. I could go off on a massive tangent right now about how you shouldn't build in the floodplain, guys. Don't build in the floodplain. I mean, Paralimni is called Paralimni for a reason, right? Paralimni. It's a fucking lake. Stop building. You're building houses on a lake. But anyway.
You know the counter argument is going to be, what about Dubai, though? How are they doing that kind of stuff in Dubai?
Yeah. Anyway, if you want me to go off on one like the Altamira Stadium bollocks, then yeah. But anyway,
my pet peeve.
So the pitch. I think the pitches all weekend were terrible anyway. Like I think the bloody Doxa pitch was the worst one. I mean, to the point where they actually postponed the match that was supposed to happen yesterday, and they had it tonight instead.
Well, according to the Cypriot FA app, the game is still going on. 45 minutes plus 289.
Seriously?
Oh, no. I can't screenshot it. Well, let me see if I can get it up here. Yeah, in the green.
Someone's getting fired.
Well, I think the person at the BBC this evening didn't find the mobile phone is going to get sacked first. That's another conversation for another time.
But anyway, back to Omonia, but them performing very, very well for the time being. 4 games won. 4 games played, 4 games won.
Yep.
Can't do any better than that. They're now in 4th because of the draw at Addis's home ground. I think that was played in Larnaga. But
that's correct.
Yeah. So, but because of the draw between the two teams, that means Omonia sit above Addis now. So that makes the what's going on with Addis a bit worse, because I think there was 4 games ago there was like a 10-point difference between the two teams, wasn't there?
That's right. Yeah. That's right.
And now now they're neck and neck. So there's the league's all over the place with that. But anyway, and if we move towards what's going on at AL, so we've got Muriel injured, we've got Chibola injured, and we've also got Bruno Santos has now been let go, so he can join that team in Brazil. It was officially done tonight. So that's 3 major players that won't be in the team for. Well, Bruno Santos isn't going to be in the team anymore.
No, he's not. His last game was his last game was officially Monday night. So
so Chibola and Muriel are going to be massive misses for him, and I don't think they've registered. I don't think they've officially registered that Chernic that that they said they signed 10 days ago. I don't think he's been registered yet.
Yes, well, that I don't know. This is another story which we can, mate. Honestly, I don't know. I don't know. This is Cyprus. That's it. That's the only explanation I give people these days when they ask me about various things that happen on the island. That's my answer. This is Cyprus. It's normal.
But
it's normal.
I mean, they were already having injury issues. I think there's defender that is Tomovic. Defender.
Tomovic. No, he's
no. Who's the defender that you really like that hasn't played for him yet?
The one that I like.
Yeah, Ael. Yeah.
I'm talking about the central midfielder.
Oh no, yeah, but Chernic, yeah, but like I'm talking about as well the injury. I won't say crisis because it's been going on all season, but they've had Pavlovic. Is that the guy's name, the defender?
Lazar Pavlovic, midfielder, yeah, the guy they brought in from I think it was Partizan. He got injured in the cup game a few weeks ago.
Yeah, so they seem to be having a lot of bad luck with injuries on top of everything else kind of slamming onto him.
Well, Hugo Bastos started the season well, if I'm not mistaken. The centre back, the Portuguese fella. But Bilovar's done well for them. But what I will say with Bilovar is that he's one of those defenders that he looks good because he makes these last-ditch challenges. But the goal against Ael at the weekend from Bruno, he had him there. He was literally standing next to him. It was Gaguli, sorry. Gaguli done him. He just stood off him. Andreas Ioannou, I don't know what's happening with him. I don't know what's happening with Filipovic. I don't know.
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, it's a sorry state of affairs going on there. It's not as sorry as Anorthosis, but it's sorry enough. Now, there's changes in the air at Ael, kind of boardroom level. We don't know.
Enlighten us with that one.
Well, I mean, I would like to, but we don't know what's going on there. There is somebody interested in Ael from Saudi Arabia, which is an interesting. I think, I took to calling them Al Ael for a bit.
That's good.
Thank you.
That's
good.
There
you go. But there was a director of football who was at Bafos who's representing that interested party.
Is there a name?
There is. I'm trying to find it. I had it in my notes a couple of weeks.
I'll start doing my Googles now. Blimey. Okay.
Oh, here we go. There you go. Laurent Deschaux.
Oh.
He's got prior footballing experience behind the scenes. He was a scout of Forest, sporting director at Aris Thessaloniki, and then he was at Bafo. And then for the last 4 years, he's been head of football operations at Grenoble.
Hold on a second. He was at Aris in Greece.
Yeah.
And before that, he was at Forest.
Yeah.
He sounds like a Marinagi man.
Well, maybe, but it's the Saudi investor that we don't know. He's their representative for the Saudi investor. Is what's been said. But now
could this be another PR stunt, or could it be like a fake shake kind of thing? I'm not shooting this down at all.
I don't know. It got reported a couple of weeks back. At the time when I wrote the notes, the deadline for any offers was 12th of January, because that was the day before, I think, their extraordinary board meeting that they were going to have.
Well, I know what's his name? Christodoulidi, who's the president of the union of the Somadio. He was on Goal and Roll on Sida Vision the other day, and he said like no one's spoken to any investors, and we've been approached by investors, and he says this particular Saudi has approached us officially. He's also made us his proposal. We expect what we've asked for. Financial details have been sent. He has started studying them. By the end of the season, the investors should also have contact with Sofogleo. So that's an interesting one, because he's saying that the Somadio haven't approached anyone, but they've been approached by the Saudis.
Yeah.
So
now but I think he also came out at one point and said that the Somadio is not for sale, so they'll take the investment, but IL belongs to IL, doesn't belong to Tom, Dick, Harry.
Well, it was the same with
Pedro.
Same with Omonia.
Yeah.
Same with Omonia. Baba Stavro bought the club, but he didn't buy the Somadio.
Yeah.
So same sort of thing.
Yeah, but I mean that's what Sophocles has done as well. He owns the club, but he doesn't own the Somadio.
Yeah.
So like when they do their takings, it's split between the football club and the Somadio.
Yeah, that's right.
But yeah, that's another one. That's an interesting one when you look at the financials as well. By the way, so. Oof.
Yes.
Yeah,
well, there's one more game to talk about, mate.
Yep.
Wow. Actually, before we talk about this game, can we talk about this tweet that was put out by Salamina the other day? They announced the signing of a player, but I'm not sure. Now that's a hyperlink, but it looks like a hyperlink to a copied image. You know when you right-click copy image and then paste?
Yeah.
It looks like they've done it from their own website.
Yeah.
But what they've done, if you look where it's got the player's name, they haven't put the space in between the H and the HTTPS, and that's probably what's caused that to happen. But hey, they've got over 1,300 views. Yeah, it's on our pod now. So
yeah,
thank you, Salamina, for the.
There you go. Sintayehu Salalich. Salalich Dipipus.
Oh my god. Okay.
I just want him to come out with his shirts. Salalich HTTPS 25%.
The 2s and the percent. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Someone Photoshop that, please.
Amazing. Oh my god. Oh, that's brilliant. Okay. Let's go to the rearranged game between. This is the second time this season this has happened with Salamina, by the way. They played against us and it was pissing down, and it lasted like 60-70 minutes, and they cancelled it. It carried on the next game. This one started from scratch, if I'm not mistaken, or did it start from 40?
No, they didn't even start it.
They didn't even start it. So started from scratch. Okay, here we go. Yeah. So Salamina beat Roxa by a 1-0. Goal scorer was blimey, who was it? Oh, yes, Sergio. Yeah, okay. You beat me to it. Sergio, yes. Konstantinos. I didn't watch this. Well, I'll tell a lie. I watched the first 12 minutes of this game. I remember this bit, but that was it. I was so fucking bored. I was trying to work out the system that Salamina were playing, and it looked like a 5-4-1. That's all I know. So apologies. I'm going to have to give this to you, man, because I didn't even watch the highlights.
Please. No, don't give it to me. Oh my god, this game was so. I kept going between the cup game tonight and this, and I just I was like, something. It's good. Something's going to happen. Something's going to happen. I got to stay with the game because something's going to happen. It's so finely poised, and nothing was happening. So I was like, all right, I'll go to the other game. Was watching the other game for a bit, and then I came back to this, and then it was 1-0. I was like, oh crap, I missed the goal. Okay, well, I mean, I'm sure something else will happen. Nothing else happened.
No.
So I mean, you could blame the pitch. You could blame the quality. The quality of the players. I guess I don't know if you can say anything about the quality of the players because these are good players. So I mean, the only thing I can say is the pitch. Maybe they shouldn't have played it. Maybe they should have postponed this game to, another time altogether. Because I mean, you can kind of see the water splashing every time a player tries to poke the ball. So the pitch. The pitch was a marsh. It wasn't a football pitch.
Yeah.
It was a sponge. Like every time the ball bounced, every time somebody was trying to hit the ball, it was just going all over the place. I think at one point I saw a sliding tackle from somebody about 10, 20 meters, 10 meters off the halfway line. And then the guy, he just carried on going. He went for the tackle and just kept going and going and going, and he didn't stop.
Well, there was one stage where Sadiq is running onto a ball and the ball got stuck in the turf, and it looked like he was like Linford Christie. He was Usain Bolt. He looked really fast running, but it's actually the ball going really slow.
Oh, Jesus Christ! Right, oh God. Oh God, this game.
There isn't really anything to say about this game, honestly. Like, just this is the first time I watched the highlights in the full, and I'm thinking, I know the score, but how close were Doxa to equalising? And I can't even think of a save that Melissa had to make. Like,
no, I think there's one right at the end. There you go.
Oh, okay.
There he is. But yeah, okay. No, there's a couple of chances near the end, but yeah, apart from that, it was. It was. I mean, at least something funny happening. No, not even that. There you
that's
go.
A good save. That's
there
a
you
save.
go. That was the one there that was like, there you go. That's what you get paid for.
And he caught that. Yeah. And he caught that one. Okay.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
He's gonna need to do his hair, get his hair done again soon.
He really needs. Yeah, he really needs to sort it out. He really needs to sort it out. But yeah, it was not. Like, I'm surprised there was that many highlights.
Well, that's painful. That's actually painful.
Yeah, it was not good. It was not good.
I
mean, we can talk about now Salamina. They're only 4 points off 6th.
Yep. So, and they're playing Omonia next, but no supporters apparently in the stadium. So
correct, yeah, because of what happened a couple of weeks back.
Yes. Well, look, shall we move swiftly on to crowd trouble, because we didn't speak about the cup games. AEK lost 4-0 against Salamina in the cup. I think Oltra said in his post-match press conference that if he could make 10 changes at halftime, he'd have done it. That's how bad they were. And AEL beat Apollon on penalties. It was a quite entertaining game, but it was marred by crowd trouble. And as you can see, these are AEL fans on the right-hand side, Apollon fans on the left. They're using the chairs or the seats at their lovely new stadium as weapons.
Mm-hmm.
I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stewards, 6 now. And one of them almost got hit, the one in the red. He's ducking out the way.
Yeah, he's staying there. Good on him.
Yeah. Shall I be honest with you? There's a steward on the left-hand side trying to hold back all these Apollon fans. And I think he's there just for face, just for show. I'm here to do my job. I don't want anyone to think that I'm not doing my job, but I can't really do my job. So I'm here. Now he's ducking. He's mate, just go. Just go.
I don't have. Yeah.
There he goes. He's gone.
It's just, yeah. Jesus Christ, man. I've got questions.
Go on.
I've got questions. You're not going to be able to answer them, but I've got questions anyway.
Go on.
Where the fuck is the police? There's police presence at these games.
Yes.
Where are they?
Well, this took place at half time. right? This
So what?
incident.
Were they getting beers like the rest of the fans?
Possibly they went to get their cafe, their frappe. Maybe they went to get a Ljubita. I don't know. Maybe Zorbaz was open around the corner. They quickly popped out.
It's because whatever happened there was basically where the police needed to be. Two banks, one bank of cops on either side. Stop that kind of shit from happening. But there was no one there. Like, what are the stewards supposed to do? If you've got like 5 or 6 stewards and you've got 20, 30, 40 people on either side playing chair tennis, how are you going to... Like, what are they going to do?
I'm guessing the police were sitting in their lovely private box, or maybe the security center. They were looking at the screens, and someone that makes the decisions just turned around and said, "I still jamais." It's just like, let them get on with it.
Yeah,
That's just how it seems. That's just how it seems.
I think that's exactly what happened because, what was it like? What 2 weeks ago? Not even 2 weeks ago. But where was the whole "we're working together" thing? That where you got the Cyprus FA, the clubs, and the police. They did the whole Last Supper, sat across a long table, like sharing bread and whatever the fuck they were doing. It's all well and good stroking each other's cocks, but can somebody actually do something about this kind of behavior? It's a very simple solution there as well. Is the way you prevent it is you have your police presence there where the trouble's going to be. Like, yeah, they segregated the fans well, but who the fuck's going to... There's no one there
I'd
stopping
hardly
fans
call
from
that
moving around.
segregation.
No, because they had like a proper gap, and then they had like the seats empty on that bit there. But there was nothing stopping them from just both sets of fans just going and meeting at this point, and then just.
Exactly, that's what I mean. It's hardly segregation. It's just like having a riverbank and other people, on either side of it, just throwing shit at each other. I mean, I remember, was it Millwall played Cardiff, and they put a massive curtain on either side of the supporters, so they couldn't see each other, let alone, give abuse or throw stuff. Now, I would have thought in a game like this, knowing full well what happened last time between the two sides, albeit at the Sirio, you'd have like a fence, like that netting.
Yeah, I mean there was a fence there, but they broke through,
Yeah.
obviously. So, but like it's. I mean, after that, no statement. I didn't see a statement from either club being like, "No, well, don't do that, please." The other thing as well is state of the art stadium. State of the art. Here you go. There they are. There they are. State of the art stadium. Right. State of the art stadium needs state of the art security. Where the fuck is that? Where's your security? Where's this security? People fucking.
Mate, do you know what? This is a conversation that I have with Roy and a few boys that I got in the WhatsApp group, and the general consensus is they're not gonna do anything. The powers that be aren't gonna react until someone actually dies.
That's what I was going to say.
That is when they're going to take things serious. When someone dies, that's when we're going to actually act. But now, let them throw their chairs at each other. Let them throw rockets at each other. Let them throw Molotov cocktails. Hell, just lock them in there overnight and let them fight it out. Let them burn cars outside the stadium. But no one's dead, so it's okay. That's just how it seems.
So, fine. Let them get on with it. So now, what happens for those two clubs? Like, what happens punishment-wise?
Well, they've already tried the playing behind closed doors. That clearly hasn't worked. The fan card doesn't work. That doesn't work, and that's been around for what, 8 years. It's only deterred people from going, but it still doesn't stop the violence. I think your suggestion is right. Have the police there, armed police, riot gear, and if you start kicking off, you get your head caved in. It's that simple.
Yeah,
That's the only way to do it.
No, you're right. I did. So again, they're probably gonna come out and be like, "Oh, ban them from the stadium for 2 games. Ban them from the stadium for 2 games. Do that." We go back to jokes and funny stuff again. It's just really funny that they've got this new stadium and they're not going to be ever playing in front of fans in the new stadium. It's just the fans are working the hardest to not be able to go watch their team play.
Yeah. The thing is, at what point do these supporters groups sit down and say to each other, right, okay, we don't like them, they don't like us, but they're going to give us stadium bans. They're going to make us play behind closed doors in this stadium that we've been looking forward to playing in for how many years?
Yep.
That Syria, look, I haven't been in that stadium for donkey's years, but even donkey's years ago, it was a hazard. It was crumbling, honestly. They've got this new stadium, and yet they still continue this weird fascination with ultras. And I understand it's a way of life. I hear the rhetoric all the time, but you're only harming your own team. That's it. That's all they're doing. They're harming them from a financial element. They're harming them from harming the players. I mean, for crying out loud, can you imagine if I'll get a 2-game ban, for example, or Abuol get a 2-game ban. Oh, sorry, Apollon get a 2-game ban, but they'll allow away fans in, like a home game for the away team.
Yep.
For me, it doesn't make no sense. I don't know.
They need to start hitting. It's not the fans. Then they need to start hitting. It's the clubs.
Yeah.
So Apollon. It looks like Apollon fans instigated the chair throwing.
Okay.
So do you say Apollon don't go through then?
Well, they got knocked out, so it didn't make a difference.
No, Apollon went through. Oh no,
no,
Apollon didn't get through, didn't they? Yeah, so Apollon got knocked out. So, do you take points off them in the league?
Well, then they'll argue it's not a league game,
Well, I mean, argue all you want, mate. How else are you gonna get them to stop doing what they're doing?
Well, for me, and this is going to sound really extreme, but no home fans for the whole season.
Yeah, but also you're gonna have the political discussion then.
Well,
because
the elections are coming up, aren't they?
Your Proedro της Δημοκρατίας put a lot of work in specifically to get.
Of course, when the president of Cyprus is from Limassol.
Yeah. So.
Yes, and I don't think Gidizzi will be too happy about that either.
Yeah.
But then again, do you think he's actually too fussed about stadium bans for fans, be it 1 or 2 games in their minds? I mean, if you think about it, if you deep it, does it? They don't fill the stadiums, right?
No.
They don't fill the stadium, right? So does it actually cost them more to actually have fans in the stadium? If you think about it, for extra staff, for police costs. Does it cost them more to actually have fans?
So, Apollon and I probably will get enough fans to make it a financial viable thing. So they probably want fans. If they have a fan ban, it will probably be they'll probably want it to be to play against a team like Agridas or Olympiacos. no disrespect to those teams, but it's more the thinking of, well,
You got no fans.
not just you've got no fans, but less of their own supporters will turn up for those games because there's like where they'll turn up to play against Omonia or Hapoel or AEK or these teams. So yes and no, I would say.
Well, Joe, I find it interesting how none of the matches on the Cypriot FA app has a list of attendances.
No,
They don't have the attendances.
No, they don't. They don't reveal the attendances. They only reveal them as an aggregate at the end of the season.
Yes, exactly. At the end of the season, right?
Yeah.
Now,
So they'll be like game week 1. We had so many thousand people show up to all the games. Abuel had so many thousand people turn up to their home games. For the whole season, and you go through that. But that's another issue. The stadiums in Gibro are too big. It's not the teams, it's the stadiums. Because I worked it out from last season, the attendances they had. If you do the ratio of the population of Gibro to the ratio of the population of England, and then you work through the attendances on that ratio. If you got the attendances from a game from a game week in Gibro and translated that to a game week in England, you'd fill 12 Old Traffords.
Right.
There's not even enough games in the Premiership to be able to do that. Never mind.
Yeah.
But the stadiums, most of the time, they're 3/4 empty.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you look at the Omonia game. They actually released the attendance on Instagram. Attendance 4,318 for the game against IL. Now, bearing in mind, Omonia got 9,000 season ticket holders, or so the club bragged at the beginning of the season. So there's 4,500 unaccounted for people not going to games. So why buy season tickets?
But don't know. But what was that? 4,000 and something.
4,318.
Yeah, but the Rassi B, the attendance of it is near 20k, isn't it? Something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
You're only going to get. You're not even going to get 20k if it's Apoel versus Omonia, because you're going to have to segregate the fans.
Yeah. Well, I think that's probably why clubs like, I'll give you an example, like Juventus. I know probably is a bad example, but Juventus decided to move stadiums to make it and go to a smaller stadium because they weren't selling out the stadium. I mean, the Rassi B, the official attendance, according to Wikipedia, 22,000.
That's insane.
Yeah.
22,000 seat stadium in a country with a population of 1 million.
Yeah. Yep.
That's insane. You got 2 and something % of the population able to sit in that stadium.
Yeah, but the thing is, I'm just guessing here, but was that the first stadium built that was UEFA standard? Because I'm thinking they built this stadium knowing full well that when Cypriot teams get into European football, like your Monias, Upwells, whatever, they're going to use that stadium, so it's going to generate more revenue for them. Do you get what I'm saying? So the stadium in Limassol, the new one, obviously it's going to be used for the Limassol teams, but AEK Stadium, I remember when AEL got to the Europa League, or the conference, it was Europa League qualifiers. They played, was it Karabag? And they played it at the Arena in Larnaca. When Anorthosis play their European games, it's at the Rassi B. When Apollon play their games in Europe, Rassi B.
Well, yeah, but that's because of the additional attendance. Because I think because the Papadopoulos, I think is that's UEFA standard. Because Gipro play games there.
Okay, well, that's interesting.
Yeah. And the AEK Arena is UEFA standard. And Derbies UEFA standard. All three of them are.
Well, okay, I understand that. Okay, I get that. So Anorthosis play their European games at the Gazibi despite their stadium being European standard, but they want it for the extra attendance. But I don't think they even had more attendees at the Gazibi for the European games. I mean, who did they play last season? They played, wasn't it Genk or Ghent? I'm not sure it's Ghent. When Lazaro scored that goal. Have a look. It doesn't even say the fucking attendance.
Of course it won't.
Wow. I'm Googling as well, man.
No, it won't. It won't because they don't want people to know. They don't want people to know. Because if people know, then where's all that public money going for the Gazibi? Where's the public money going for the Stelios Kyriakidis? Where's the public money going for these stadiums? You see what I mean?
Wild. Oh, 1 minute. I found it.
Go on.
2,573. Yep. 2,573.
I'm pretty sure Babaloupoulous is like 7,000.
There you go.
Hold on, I'm just gonna verify that before.
Jesus, Blind, we've gone for nearly 2 hours, man.
Yeah, man. I think we're done.
Wow, yeah, we're done.
Done.
Thank you, everyone, for watching and listening.
10,000. 10,230. There you go.
There you go.
Anyway.
But yeah, massive thank you to everyone for tuning in, for contributing. This is a pre-record, by the way, in case you didn't know. It's 10 past 11 in the UK. It's 10 past midnight.
Look outside, people on the video, man. Come on.
Yeah, I'd just like to thank various people for supporting us. How the Blade, Footy Matters, oh blimey, Anorthosis Talker, our friend Cyprus Football E, as you can see at the bottom. See the timing Stel, my goodness, and everyone else who watches this pod and supports us. We really appreciate it, and we have a lot of fun doing it. As you can see, we've gone on for 2 hours, so yeah, we have a lot of fun. So that's all. Thank you again, my friend, for your time.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me, as always.
Fingers crossed next week will be more eventful, less boring matches, and a lot more funny stuff to talk about, because hey, this is Mappa, and there's never a dull moment. So
this is Mappa.
It is indeed. So, boys and girls, good night, kalinichta, or whatever.